Welcome to the Middle-Raged Podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 21 of the Middle-Raged Podcast with me, Adam Eccles, and my co-host, Keith A. Pearson. Good morning and top of the morning to you. That's my awful.
That's up there with your Australian accent.
This is why people say to me, "Where are you from?" Right? And when I'm travelling and stuff, and I'm saying, "I'm from Ireland," but then I'm not really because my voice gives me away, right? But they don't fucking know in America. They don't know, so I get away with it, right? But yeah, it's here, right?
Do you do that when you're over there? Do you actually put on an Irish accent?
Oh no, God no! I'd be lynched. I only do that on special occasions, but it is Paddy's Day today, so it's okay for that reason, I suppose.
So you get a day off, don't you, being in Ireland for St. Patrick's Day?
I do. I am not at my day job today, which is reason itself to celebrate.
So are you joining in all the festivities? Because it seems to be that every year there seems to be getting more and more commercialised and celebrated.
That's the way it goes, isn't it? You know, you got your shillelaghs and your big green top hats and everything. Those come out just after January. so no, but oh yeah, I'm celebrating here at home by recording a podcast, and mucking about with coding and programming.
Is it celebrated so much in Ireland as it seems to be in other places? I know America are very into this, aren't they?
Yeah, you see, I think that there's a sort of what's the word? It's much amplified. That's the word.
Yes.
As you go further away from Ireland, I think that the celebrations amplify accordingly. So in America, they do ridiculous things like dye the river green.
Oh, was it in Boston or Chicago? One of the two.
Boston, maybe even New York, right? Because there's big Irish communities there. But guess what, folks? The rivers in Ireland are not green.
Are you saying that you don't have leprechauns?
Well, you never know. I have never seen one, but you never know. But when you fly home to Ireland, you are struck as you look out the window by the immense greenness of the country, right? So it is the Emerald Isle.
It's not exclusive to Ireland, though, is it?
No, absolutely no. It's a chlorophyll, right? It's a natural process of photosynthesis, right? There's your little science lesson.
Thank you.
But yeah, we do have a lot of it here because of the immense amount of fucking rain, right?
Can I just say, though, that whenever I see scenes online of these various sort of celebrations, parades, etc., everyone's wearing green. Yeah. Green is such a deeply unflattering colour. Do you not think?
Yeah, well, yes. I would never wear green. Obviously, I only wear black, right? But yeah, no, God, no. And what? It is a bit weird. Oh, your Paddy's Day, so you wear green and all this green crap and dye your Guinness.
Drink Guinness.
Green.
I wonder how many pints of Guinness are sold on St. Patrick's Day.
A lot. And yes, I'm not really...
Not in my house, then.
You don't like Guinness?
Oh, no, it tastes like arse. I don't get it. Don't get it at all.
I mean, I have been known to drink the odd Guinness, but not in quantity. And I mean, one is probably plenty. It is it is a bit of a chunk. It's a meal in itself, really. You know,
I think it's taken on some sort of.
Yeah.
I think whoever did all the branding and the advertising and PR for Guinness has done an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've kind of made it almost cool to drink.
Yeah, it's cultural.
Well, really, it's just a stout, isn't it? Yeah. It's an old man's drink.
Yeah. And actually, there are better stouts, right? There's Murphy's.
Yeah, very much so. It is like the Fosters of the stout world.
Fucking Fosters. I have a long time ago, I was working in a hotel and after hours, somebody forgot to lock the bar and turn off the taps and stuff, right? So somehow myself and some waitresses discovered that the Foster's tap was still working.
Oh.
And you can extrapolate what happened. And I had to be doing breakfast the next morning, and my God, that was not fun.
See, the thing with Foster's, you can drink it in vast quantities because it's fairly weak, but it's also very chemically. The hangover.
It was brutal. It's just chemicals, isn't it? Why? That's the thing about Guinness, actually. I will say there aren't any chemicals in Guinness, and you can drink it, and yes, you'll have a hangover, but it won't debilitate you for months, right? It's not going to change your molecular structure.
Well, there's a rule, isn't it? It's the cheaper the lager, actually, but then you've got Stella Artois, which I think is quite chemically as well. How the fuck did we get onto this topic of conversation?
It's bad.
This is something else we're going to have to rant about, the shit they put in our food at some juncture.
That's a good point, yeah.
There we go.
Stella's all right. I didn't know Stella. Okay, well, I have to rethink that.
I think their whole premise, it was just a bog standard Belgian beer. Actually, I don't think even the Belgians, it wasn't even that popular in Belgium. But again, it became massively popular here because of a really clever marketing campaign. Yes. Do you remember they did these rather, was it called reassuringly expensive?
Oh, yeah.
So the perception was that it was high quality because it was expensive, but really it was just a bog standard lager.
It's piss out of the same broth as everything else, right? Yeah.
And because it's a mass market beer, long shelf life, lots of chemicals.
Yeah, nasty.
Please don't sue us, whoever produces Stella Artois.
Yeah, God knows.
In fact, if you send us a few cases, we'll probably... we're open to bribery.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We can promote. We don't have any advertising, so we could do some, what do they call it, some product placement.
Yeah. Here we are, sipping Stella Artois.
At 10:45 on it's now 11:34 on a Monday morning.
Classic.
I could get down for that, yeah. Or what if Andrex decides to send us, a year's supply of toilet rolls? We could start every episode by saying, tell me how your bowel movements were this morning, Adam. Are you suitably clean now?
Absolutely, yeah. Smooth. Right.
Oh, God.
Anywho.
Should we move on?
Speaking of sponsors, we've had a few coffees bought for us.
We have.
Which is lovely. So thanks go out to Christopher Moore, who donated a coffee, and buymeacoffee.com/middleraged. We very much appreciate all these coffees. They help in some small way to offset the horrific cost of creating a podcast. But so that's very nice. Thank you. And again, a repeat offender. We've got Jennifer McGuire putting her hand deeply into her pocket with another 3 coffees. Thank you very much, Jennifer. So that's there's now an exclusive club of what was double donatees. Double donatees, is that?
I'm going to go with that.
Fair enough. Of people who have donated more than once. So, wow. That's
Jennifer and Sue. And
yes.
I think this blows out the water any misconceptions that women don't stand their ground, because
there you go.
Both of the double donatees are women. So, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Step up.
Yeah, you tight bastards. So fair enough. But that's impressive, isn't it? I mean, yeah, you got to be pretty dedicated to the cause.
Yes.
That's good.
We like to see those levels of commitment.
Yeah. Good stuff. So yeah, buymeacoffee.com/middleraged if you would like to join the ranks of the wonderful people who have helped to sponsor us.
Indeed. And I guess, actually, that leads us now into an apology for the tardy delivery of this episode. And I think you would like to, and like is probably not the right word, but you feel a need to have a pre-rage rage about your reasoning for this tardy episode.
Yeah, so I regularly have to travel to the USA for my sins. And excuse me if I sound a bit rough and throaty today. It's because on my travels, I picked up some kind of bloody travel aids, and I was very rough for a while, but I'm better now, but still a bit ragged, right? So if I have to mute because I'm coughing my guts up, then apologies. So I've now developed what I call a lessons learned file on my phone, right? Where I just pop notes into a file because I travel quite a lot, but you're always learning, right? So I've now developed an acronym, TIR, Travel-Induced Rage. And this is caused by things like lost luggage. And, oh, God, so I've never actually had lost luggage before, but this time I had. So I went to Chicago from Dublin and then on to another destination, but my luggage stayed in Chicago, not where I wanted it to be. And then, it was a short enough trip, but yeah, so my luggage didn't show up until the day before I went back, so I had to go and...
Really?
Yeah. And the amazing thing these days is the magic of air tags, right? I did have an air tag in my bag, my suitcase. So I actually knew where it was at all times, but I couldn't get it. And convincing, American Airlines that I know where my bag is, can you fucking well go and get it and send it to me? That was the hard part, right? And especially... as it was over a weekend, they just didn't give a shit, right? So, and in the end, look, I did get it back and it was unharmed and fine, but it took 4-5 days and they FedExed it to me. And yeah, by that time I'd had to go and buy new clothes and toothbrush and toiletries and everything because, of course, all my stuff was in my bag, right? Bastards. So the lesson learned here is that I will no longer be checking luggage. And I would just take the absolute bare minimum with me, right? Yeah, and also the next point is a short connection. I don't know if you ever had a connecting flight in anywhere, right? But it's the second flight is going to be taking off regardless if you're on it, right?
Yeah,
so. I didn't realize, but I had a connection at JFK in New York on the way back, and it was only 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I was like, that is a bit tight. And then I looked into it, and I had to change terminals, right? Because it was going from a domestic to an international flight. They're doing different fucking terminals. So I had to exit one terminal and then go back through security and go into another. And my God, that was not fun. I mean, JFK is massive for a start, and the signage is terrible. Of course, I didn't know where I'm going.
Of course it is.
Yeah. So I basically ran from one terminal to the next. And as I finally found where the train is, and I got that, and I went through the bloody security. Of course, there's a big line there, and a bunch of surly people who really don't give a crap. But anyway, I was sort of ducking in front of people and getting through security. And as I was going through security, my phone was ringing, and it's the gate saying, "Where the fuck are you?" I'm like, I'm coming, hang on. And I'm running down the corridors and trying to find, of course, again, no signs, couldn't find a board even. Just guessed the way.
This sounds like a prelude to a heart attack episode.
I mean, yeah, really. I got to the gate and I'm the only person there, and they shout at me, "Are you Eccles?" I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
And I run through and I get in literally seconds. They were basically closed it, but they were just holding it for me because they knew I was coming. But yeah, I got to my seat absolutely pouring with sweat.
Nice.
Lovely. So the poor woman who sat next to me just had to deal with that, right? But fucking hell, that was awful. And, if I'd have stopped for a piss, if I'd have bought a bottle of water, which I wanted to, I would have missed my flight. And so I was just parched, bursting, and sweaty. And it was an overnight flight. So it left at like 9 p.m. or something and got to Dublin in the morning. It was awful.
I think the concept of connecting flights it's just horrendous. I mean, thank God. I mean, I've never had to take one, and I don't think I could because I don't think I'd cope well with that amount of stress. I'd need like at least 24 hours between those flights.
Yeah, right, yeah. It is a huge amount of stress. And the whole trip I was worried about this, and I knew it was going to be a problem, and guess what? It was a bloody problem. And I literally made it by the skin of my teeth, and so no more connecting flights. They can fuck off.
Yeah. Well, thank God America has a really impressive train system.
Yeah. No. No. I would have to drive. I've driven across America several times, and it's a lot. It's fine.
At least you're you're in control, aren't you?
Yes.
You're master of your own fate. So if you want to drive for 14 hours a day, then rock on.
I have done similar, right? It's not fun, but you can do it, and but you again, you can also stop at one of the many millions of hotels and just say, I'm going to take a break now. So
listen to a podcast or two.
That's right.
Make a bit of a road trip of it.
Yeah. So it's possible, right? But anyway, no more connection, because that's bloody brutal. Right. So that's my travel-induced rage. I just wanted to get it out there. Fuck them. It's horrible. All right, I have got another bit of quick follow-up, if you will indulge me.
Yes, far away.
I think we have talked about having reviews and star ratings thrust at us at every possible opportunity. Before, I can't remember the episode, but I'm sure we've talked about it. Just everything you do
demands for reviews and ratings.
Yeah. And it's just got to a ridiculous point. Look, when we say please review our books, I think that's a valid point, right? But if you ring your insurance company and renew your car insurance, and then they send you a thing about can you review? What am I fucking reviewing? There's nothing there to review, right? That just seems ridiculous. But what happened to me the other day, I think, is the absolute pinnacle of pointless reviews, right? So I'll describe the situation. I decided, actually, this is on the theme for the rest of the show, as we'll get to, right? But I decided to stop wasting my time walking around Tesco's, because they offered me a way that I could do my shopping on my phone at home, and somebody else would do the shopping and actually put it into, baskets.
Great idea.
Yeah. And I just drive up to the building and they bring it to my car and we put it into the boot and job done, right? So click and collect. And I've only ever done it once because I thought it was a bit sort of lazy or ostentatious or something. I don't know. But anyway, it was free. So I thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go, right? And so I did that. I drove up to the thing, and when you get to the place, you open the app, and then there's a button that says, according to your shopping, it's the I'm here button. So you drive up to the building, you park in the special parky area, and then you press the button that says I'm here. And, consequently, they get a notice inside, and some fella then brings out your shopping. Brilliant, right? But what happened when I clicked that I'm here button is that it changed to a screen, which I had to screenshot because I was just incredulous. The question was presented to me, was the I'm here button helpful? With 4 or 5 star buttons underneath it. Select a star to rate your experience. And what? Was the I'm here button helpful? Well, of course it fucking was, because that's the process you've invented. I mean,
As opposed to what?
Yeah.
I mean, not saying I'm here and not having an I'm here button, I'm assuming.
I can't. This is just so random. How did the software developer who implemented this, what were you thinking? Like, was the I'm here button helpful? Yes, because I had to press it. There's no option. What else am I supposed to do? It's like, I don't know, was the toilet...
Maybe they needed a I'm not here button that you have to press every 30 seconds.
Yeah. That wasn't,
until you are there.
That wasn't helpful at all. But like, what 5 stars to choose from? What would you rate the I'm here button? Well, it's not... It's like the flush handle on the toilet. Was the flush handle helpful? Yeah, because it flushed the fucking toilet. Like, this has gotten to just ridiculous lengths. I mean, is there a focus group then reviewing the responses? Oh, look, it got 25 5 stars and 3 4 stars, and like, what the fuck are they thinking here?
I think this is what we touched on before, is that most of this probably goes nowhere. It's like every single time you have a package delivered, whether it's Every or Amazon, you get an email asking for you to rate the courier or the person that delivered it. You never see these people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not knocking on your door anymore and standing there with a smile and for a little bit of chit chat.
Right.
So, what are you basing it on? What the Royal Mail used to be like in 1958? I mean, what?
The parcel arrived. Yeah, I mean,
it's as expected.
Yeah.
You know, it looks intact, and it arrived when they said it would. So fine.
Yeah.
You know that already, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. So fuck off.
It reviews for things that are just default behaviour. It's utterly bizarre. I just don't get it, and I think we need to stop. So I did not rate it. I'm not going to indulge them with their ridiculous quest, because that's
but you know what'll happen next time you turn up? There'll be no button. And you'll be like, you have to get out your car and scream,
"Hello,
I'm here!"
Fucking hell!
And you'll be going, I wish I'd rated that button. Now.
Bastards. Just again, as this is a common theme on this show, is that I think that there's no need for things to be so ridiculous and stupid. Just think about it, lads. When you're coding this, when you're designing the flow of the app, is that really what you like? They didn't. The ridiculous thing, they didn't ask me, did my shopping appear okay? Was it quick enough? Was the chap who brought it to me, helpful? They didn't care about any of that.
Oh yeah, you said you don't. You'll get that at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
They'll lull you into a full sense of security, and now you'll get like a 8-page questionnaire land in your inbox any day.
Yeah, it's probably in the post, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, most important was the I'm here button helpful. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Right, enough of that. So this week. We are enraged about, drumroll, time thieves. And these are people and things and processes that steal our precious time. We write time travel books, right? So I think we have...
we're probably experts on the subject.
Must be, right?
Yeah.
So time is a thing. And it's a finite resource, right? So I came up with this little algorithm or something, not algorithm, but just something to think about, right? So let's say that a human in this era is probably expected to last about 80 years, right?
I'm thinking we should probably put a trigger warning in for anyone over the age of 70 now.
Oh, Jesus, right. I mean, look, these are averages. You know, my gran lived to be 100, so you never know, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
she clearly never flew American Airlines.
No, definitely not. Long story, but let's just, for the sake of brevity, assume that you're going to last about 80 years, and that's roughly 700,000 hours of life across your life, right? But
right.
But we're already well past a chunk of that, right? So we've only got about roughly 30 years left, which is a roughly 263,000 hours. But we spend at least 1/3 of that asleep, right? Roughly, again. So let's say...
Is it a third?
Well, roughly.
Yeah, I suppose, I guess it probably is.
I mean, if you actually got your 8 hours every day, it would be a third, right? But
I think if you're including crying into your pillow, angry masturbation, and lying in bed in the morning full of existential dread, it probably is about 8 hours.
There you go. So after all of that, I reckon we've got roughly 87,000 waking hours left.
Right.
Fucking hell.
Everyone's just switched off the podcast now, thinking, fuck.
I'm wasting my time with this shit. Well, so now let's imagine that stack of hours as money. So let's say that we've got, £87,000 or euros or dollars, whatever currency you live in. And that's what you've got left. And you can't get any more. That's the key point here, is you cannot get any more because time is a finite resource. And all you can do is deplete it. You cannot add time. When they say we're going to make up some time on the plane, they're not talking about making time. They're just going to drive faster, right? So that's the thing. So now you've got a finite resource, and it sounds like, okay, well, I've got plenty, but now you have to ring your insurance company and renew your car insurance, and you're on hold for an hour. So for every hour you waste in some kind of way like that, throw a pound coin in the bin. Chink, gone. You're waiting at the airport. You've got to get there like 3 hours before your flight.
Yeah.
There's £3 coins in the bin. Chink, chink, chink. And you're depleting that finite stack. And suddenly, you're in the doctor's surgery waiting for an hour and a half. £1.50 in the bin. And, these...
I think if you actually called them life tokens.
Life tokens, yes. There you go.
Let's go with that, because I think that's more... When you actually we'll come on to the money thing in a minute, because that's my personal beef on it. But I think when you think of them as actual life tokens...
Yeah. You're walking around Tesco's every bloody week, or whatever supermarket you go to.
Well, not anymore.
Well, no. That's why...
You're decadent. Yeah, click and collect.
Yeah. That's why I did it, right? So make somebody else do it. But somebody else, I suppose they're working there, right? But
well, they get paid for it, don't they?
Yeah. But yeah, so I before this revelation, I would have to walk around Tesco's, and there's like an hour and a half of life token in the bin. And it's not time that I'm...
I would say, though, in that respect, though, I mean, if you think about the evolution, it's certainly a lot easier than hunting and gathering. So I'm going to say I don't mind going to, and I'm pretty adept and efficient in a supermarket.
You say that, but then the bastards change everything around, right? Which is what's happening in my test. And one of the trigger factors for me using the click and collect was because they fucking completely changing everything around, like in a big way. Okay. So I can't find anything. I was like, well, fuck it, then they can find it for me. But yes, I see what you mean. But yeah, I mean, that's my thing, is if I wanted to hunt and gather, I wouldn't go to fucking Tesco, right? So don't make me hunt for my eggs. Anyway, but look, life tokens, you really haven't got many left if you think about it. And every time you do some stupid bloody task that just eats up time, it's tokens in the bin, because you're not living your best life. You're not fulfilling some sort of fun thing, or it's not enhancing your life. You're just on the bloody phone to Aviva doing your car insurance, right? So
I think, and here is the lesson, I think, if there is one at all in our witterings, is that I don't think people take... the reason why this came to my mind is I actually did some analysis about dog ownership.
Right.
because I live in a house with a dog,
right?
And it dawned on me how many hours of my life I've given across to this waggy-tailed shit machine. And
is that his name?
Basically, it works out if you walk your dog, and I think anyone that's thinking of getting a dog, or they've got kids nagging to get a dog, think about this. If you walk that dog for 40 minutes a day,
right,
and it lives to 12,
right,
you will lose 2,935 hours of your life, or 4 entire months.
Wow.
And that's before you sort of factor in the time you spend feeding it, playing with it, clearing up after it, and God knows what else.
That's 4 months.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. I'd say a dog is a time thief.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of it?
Well, I mean, I suppose you get to go for a walk, right?
Well, you can go for a walk without a dog.
That's true. That is true.
You don't need a dog to go. In fact, I would argue you can go for a better walk without a dog because you don't have to stop
and pick up shit
every 20 yards for it to sniff whatever dogs want to sniff. You're not having to walk around with a bag full of warm turds. I mean,
that is the best
I
part,
would say, I would argue that a dog ruins a good walk.
That's true. And yeah, you probably just walk the same route every day, and obviously you have to do it because the poor bastard has to shit somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not exactly a pleasant walk, is it? So wow.
It's either too hot. I mean, there are some days where the weather's okay, but more often than not, it's too hot, too cold, or it's raining, or it's snow. Yeah, it's just. And you're standing there on the edge of a field, and it's like -2, and there's a Baltic wind whipping across this field, and every part of you is absolutely frozen, and the dog's just deciding where he would like to take a dump, right? Because they have to have a specific patch of ground. They can't just go, oh, I'm here, I'm going to have a dump. No, I've got to walk up and down, up and down. Sorry, this has become a dog-related rant, and but it makes you think. And basically, the point being is that when you start to break down these things, the amount of life you're giving up for these things, it's frightening.
That is a chunk. That is
4 months.
4 months of life. It's cleaning up shit. Wow.
or dragging a.
I suppose somebody should calculate how much time do we spend sitting on the toilet as well. That's got to be.
Yeah, well, if maybe but you can do something about that. You can just eat more bran flakes, can't you?
Well, you still.
Kellogg's, send us some bran flakes because I think I'm going out of my way to promote that brand, and we're getting nothing in return.
Well, you're getting something.
Apart from regular bowel movements, but
right.
So
yes, well, I do agree. I mean, cats are much more independent.
Yeah,
they just go and shit where they want on their own schedules. So yeah,
but they're very they don't want they like to go off and do it privately. They don't make a song or dance about it. They'll go off. They're very self conscious about their.
That's it. They don't.
And they bury it. They have the decency to bury it.
Try to, yeah. They don't make eye contact with you while they're doing it. I'm taking this shit and you're going to pick it up. Lovely. Right.
Right. Okay. Sorry. We're talking about time here rather than. So the other issue I have, and this is counter to what you've actually suggested, because I think there's another way to look at it. Because in a society and countries where everything seems to be going up in price, right, constantly,
yes,
we tend to sort of just brush it off. Oh, it's so and so's gone up by X, and this and that has gone up by Y. But I think if we thought about this as time, right, everyone will be a lot more angry about it. So, for example, energy prices in the UK have gone up something like 9.4% in the last year. Okay,
that's a fucking chunk, isn't it?
Yeah, so about 160 quid on the average bill. Now, if somebody earns minimum wage, they've got to work 14 hours, essentially 2 days of of extra work just to cover that increase, right?
Ooh.
So imagine saying to someone, you've got to just work 2 extra days for what, right? 2 whole days of your life you've got to give up because a utility company wants more money.
Is that a month or is that a year? That's
over a year, right?
Okay.
But and that's just utilities or just energy, right? Gas and electric. Then you look at council tax, which has now gone up here by a massive amount. Water, insurance, broadband, phone contracts. I mean, all of it, right? It's all time.
That's a good way of looking at it, yeah, because you do have to work to earn money.
Yeah.
And that's time where you can't be doing something else. You can't be indulging in your hobby or living your life or sleeping or having sex or whatever it is you do. You've got to be at work unless one of those things is your job.
Recording podcasts.
There you go.
I mean, people might say, well, why are you not releasing once every week? Some people might say, why are you releasing them at all? But fuck them people. Why not release one every week? Well, we would love to, but these time thieves keep coming along, shoveling bills through our doors, demanding money for the same thing, more money for the thing that we had last week or last month or last year that has not changed, but they want more money for it. And by more money, they want more of our time.
That's it. Bastards. It's not fun. But unfortunately, things that make money have to be put up the list, don't they? They take your priority, and then your leisure time, whatever it may be, or your fun time, is stolen from you. Bastards.
And I think that is the most egregious part of all of this society that we find ourselves in, where we are more and more of our actual time is spent just doing stuff that to exist, right? Yeah. And I know this sounds bad because I imagine if you're living in some poverty-stricken part of the world, these are very much first world problems. But essentially, that's all you've got. You can say, well, okay, my life is intrinsically better than. But then you think, actually, is my life better than somebody who lives in a rural part of Africa, for example, right? They know what their deal is every day. They hunt, they gather, they do whatever. And they don't have the crap. We've been sort of sold this life of, okay, you need a better house, better car, better job, more money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you buy into that. And then all of a sudden you realize, shit, it was a trap.
It's a trap. It is a bloody trap, right? You've probably seen this flick around on Facebook and X and whatever. It's a meme thing. It's something about medieval peasants in Europe had something like 150 holiday days a year because the churches realized that the way to keep people productive was to give them lots of this leisure time. And so we don't have that. So it's the meme is like that you are worse off than a medieval peasant.
I mean, life expectancy, I'm guessing, was a little bit.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, I mean, you probably had to shit out the window or whatever, right? And not bathe. so it's But
have you been to Swindon?
I haven't. Dear.
Sorry, anyone living in Wiltshire.
Well, you can call it living. Anyway, I can say that because I did live there for a little while, so long time ago. But anyway, yes, no, you're right. It's taking away our lives effectively because if you're working for somebody, you don't own your life at that stage. Somebody else does. And even if you work for yourself, it is this, and this goes back to the point of like having to pay for stuff. And we're not talking about luxuries here. We're talking about necessities, water,
like food,
house,
water. Yeah,
food.
Exactly. All of the stuff that becomes more and more expensive, which means more and more of your time. And I think if people actually sat down and worked out over the course of an average week how much of their time they're giving to utility companies, to local governments, to tax, to main governments, and they would probably be horrified.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think there would probably be a revolution of some sort,
Well,
an uprising.
That's in the post, isn't it? That's happening.
It's got to be on it, yeah, because it is seems to be getting far, far worse. And you know, the nothing goes down, does it? When was the last time you got an email saying, "Oh, so and so's going down in price"? It just doesn't happen.
No, there's no down. There's on the up.
And it becomes a thing where a company will use the argument of inflation just to jack up their prices anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it may not have affected them.
It's like it's a sort of trigger effect. It's like if you announce on the radio, I think this has actually happened in the US, right, in Texas or somewhere. If you announce on the radio there is a gasoline shortage. Sorry, my terrible accent.
I'm not sure what accent that was.
It's Texas.
Was it? Texas?
Oh, yeah. Very, very.
Oh, okay.
Definitely. Don't ask. There's a gasoline shortage.
Yes.
What that will trigger is thousands of people suddenly going to the local petrol station, right? And buying all the petrol. And suddenly there is
a shortage.
Yeah. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So it's the same thing with inflation made us put our prices up. Well, you just you know what I mean? It's we just put them up, and that's the inflation. it's
but and then everyone's doing it, isn't it? Your window cleaner is like, well,
inflation, mate.
It puts its prices up. You're saying, well, is climbing up a ladder got any more expensive? I mean,
the lemon juice or whatever, right? That is. But yeah, so it's all just. I think I alluded to before. I don't think money is a real concept. I think it's all a bit. If you think about
Have you tried that with your mortgage company to say, can I pay with
philosophy?
Yeah.
They love that. Love that shit. Yeah. No worries, mate. No.
But you need somewhere to live, don't you?
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to live somewhere. So what are you going to do?
That's it.
It's rent or a mortgage, and that then means that for at least some days or hours every week, month, you're going to work to pay for your home, which is, fair enough.
Yeah. But it's impossible to live in the world these days, especially in any, populated. I suppose you could find some island somewhere, right? But you can't just live for free. There's always going to be somebody wanting something from you. Even if you were off-grid.
Yeah,
you made your own electricity from
self-sufficiency.
Yeah, you shit into a hole in the ground. You capture rainwater. Like, there's always still going to be somebody. Well, you need to pay council tax on the property. There's got to be
some. Yeah, I was going to say there's got to be some land or council tax, even if it's just a plot.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you need to have a car because you have to get stuff to where you are, then that you'll have tax on that and all the.
But you would still need some basics, wouldn't you? Yes. I mean, at least you're making your own clothes,
right? And
what are you making your clothes from? You're not growing cotton in the UK, are you?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So at some point you need to go to shops.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't think it's possible to live the good life. And
then you're paying VAT whether you like it or not. Yeah, so and you're paying for some modicum of transportation unless you're walking and. Right. So it is impossible, I would say.
Yes, and it's impossible.
Unless you do go and move to the arse end of nowhere where there is no sort of...
Yeah, but you still need to eat and clothe and everything. So, you're going to have to get that from somewhere. And
you're back to your medieval lifestyle, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those fuckers got 150 days holiday.
What were they doing with that holiday, though? I wonder.
Well, they were dying at 41 of rickets, so...
And stinking.
Yeah.
Rickets. So bring back
Well, they
rickets.
weren't spending that time, between the sheets, were they? I mean...
Probably not. I mean, maybe they dunked into the river every so often for a wash, but...
Yeah.
But not enough, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Mind you, I suppose if you're both, if that's what you're used to, then...
Enough.
I mean, if you've got two people with very, very poor personal hygiene, I guess they should probably team up.
Keep them out of the way, yeah. Christ. How did we get into... Anyway.
I'm sorry. Right,
back to the plot. So this is a statistic here. UK drivers lost an average of 62 hours due to traffic congestion. That is
per annum. That is
per annum,
yeah.
But bloody hell, how many days is that? Like 3 days or something of sitting in traffic. And I mean, that is a horrible time. Like you're in your car, you can't do anything, can't even go for a piss, and you're stuck.
We can, but
bucket.
Feel wiped down seats.
Nasty. Back to the medieval peasants, but
yeah, sorry.
At least they could get off their horse and go for a shit in the woods, right? But I mean, yeah, driving ought to be an A to B situation. You want to go somewhere, you go there, and you get there, and you stop, and you come back, right? But no, it's not. It's hours of sitting in traffic, cursing the people around you because they're all bastards and can't drive and don't use indicators, and yeah, it's not a pleasant experience.
But again, this comes back to time thieves. Now, traffic doesn't. There are too many cars on the roads. I think we can agree on that. And that's because too many people live in a finite amount of space. And if you don't build more roads, you're not going to have room for all the new cars. But a lot of this is down to very poor planning by humans, right? And they just say, well, if people are going to be stuck in traffic, well, tough. That's just the way it is. So we're going to plan these roadworks to coincide with some other roadworks on the other side of town. And over the course of 5 days where these roadworks are there, people are going to actually do work for about 3 hours, and the rest of it, there'll just be temporary traffic lights. But if you think about that, 62 hours, that is the equivalent of a week and a half of actual work, right?
That is, if you're doing your 40-hour week,
So if your employer said, I'm going to reduce your holiday allowance this year by a week and a half.
Ooh, no.
But that's what we put up with.
Yeah, that's right.
Time thieves.
That is disgusting, isn't it? Yes.
Now, there will always be accidents, I mean, that happens, so you can kind of understand that. But it's roadworks, it's stupid. There's stuff going on in my town at the moment where they're redoing the roads, and it's beyond comprehension how bad this is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just because people are making stupid decisions and they're stealing our time as a consequence because they don't care.
That is the nub of it, isn't it? They think that that's okay. All of these people, the insurance company who make you sit on hold, the councils who just take weeks to do something that should be seconds or whatever. Even banks that take 3 days to process your payment for some reason. They just think that it's okay to steal that time from you. And I mean, imagine a Star Trek episode or something where time was like time thieves were punished.
Yeah,
there's something to think about, right?
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, you go to jail.
Jot that down him. Yeah. But why shouldn't it's not? I mean, money is, when you think of it, of actual time, it is without doubt. I don't want to sound wanky, but it is our most precious commodity because it doesn't matter how much actual money you have.
Yeah, can't increase the time.
We all have the same sort of. We're all restricted by the same amount of time, more or less.
That's it. Yeah.
So people stealing that from you egregiously. And companies and when a company says, you're sat on hold, and I know this is such a trope, but when you're on hold and they say your call is important to us, and you think that has got to be the single biggest fucking lie in corporate. In the corporate world, right?
Yes.
Is your call is important to us.
Not important at all.
What that company has said is we are not going to employ more people to process the calls, right? We want to steal the customers' time because it means more profit or less cost for us.
Exactly.
That is their decision to do, whether it's the government organisation, HMRC, or whatever it may be, or a company. They are stealing your time so their lives are easier or more productive or more profitable.
Absolutely.
That is it.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a rant.
No, it's true. It's they could have better systems. They could have more people answering the phones.
Of course they could.
Or they could come up with a better solution for whatever it is they're doing that doesn't require anybody to call. That it just works in the first place.
Yeah.
How about that?
I mean, that's revolutionary, isn't it? If there weren't actual problems, or the problems that they get called about the most, rather than emailing us and within an hour saying, give us feedback, actually go, well, do you know, we've already had a ton of feedback about this. Maybe we should do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
take your feedback and feed it up your ass. They never do that. This is the thing. All of these surveys,
nothing changes.
Nothing ever
changes.
Fucking changes, and they just make excuses and say they're doing something, but they never actually do. And here we are, 2025. Is still if the system tweaks in any tiny way, you're forced back onto the phone because the website can't handle it, or they can't do this beamer. You must actually call and you must sit on hold.
And all do you know what we need, right? And I'm sure I saw this in a one of these sort of weird TV dramas, right? Imagine you walked around, right, like an avatar with a sort of clock above your head. Showing the countdown to your ultimate demise, right?
Hell.
And if you actually had that, if everyone had this thing above their head, almost like a hologrammatic clock.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah. Do you think people would treat other people differently? Because they'd be like, well, and every time your time is being wasted, this clock would go red or something, or would flash or whatever.
Good concept. Yes.
I think that would be interesting because I think you can argue if I'm sat in my desk just twiddling my thumbs, right? I'm wasting time. Well, I'm not, because I'm thinking or I'm relaxing or I'm doing whatever. I'm just unwinding.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's my time, right? It's when other people decide how they would, when they take that time from me.
Yes.
So I can't just sit at my desk and twiddle my thumbs. I've got to ring someone or answer a stupid email or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That's the nub of it, isn't it? If you want to waste your time, that's your choice, right? But when other people inflict that on you, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Then it's in the red bucket. Bastards.
And in 2026, I will probably release a novel called Invasion of the Time Thieves.
There you go. Looking forward to that.
There we go. Should we round this off with the biggest, I think, one of the most egregious elements of time thievery? This
is ridiculous, isn't it? And rolls back.
Why is it still a thing?
Why the bloody hell is changing the clocks still a thing in 2025? I mean, I've been saying this for decades. What the fuck are we doing? Why do we do this? And there's some history here, something to do with fucking wars, or I don't know. But
is it wars? I've never heard that. I thought it was farmers.
Isn't it?
Frankly, farmers have got enough to fucking worry about without taking the heat for this shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, farmers get up when they get up. What difference does it make what you call? This is the thing here, is that there's all this stupid admin, and it's just about a number. Like when people got up, I suppose when the sun rose, because they had no other choice, and that's the day. They didn't have lights or whatever. I don't know. They didn't think about what you call that hour. It's just a fucking time to get up. And so all we're doing here is changing a number for no real benefit. I mean, in the winter,
the sun does not shine anymore, does it? The moon,
it's absolutely. I think we really need to get rid of it. But the problem is that everybody has to agree to this. Actually, are there any countries where they don't do this? It must be somewhere on the planet. where they don't.
If I was a ruler of a country, it would be one of the first things I'd do.
Yeah. Your man...
Fuck it. No, I've never met anyone. Have you ever met anyone who go, oh, do you know what? I love that thing twice a year where we have to change all our fucking clocks and you're disorientated for 24 hours and
no,
you can't work. You spend 2 hours trying to work out how to change the clock in your car and
yeah. No,
et cetera, et cetera. Never.
No, nobody likes this. So why do we still do it? Does anyone know, listeners, if you have some...
I mean, we could have Googled this beforehand, I suppose, but...
Well,
I think it is something to do with agriculture. I think it goes back to giving them extra days for harvest or something. But in this day and age, these machines are like virtually autonomous, aren't they?
Well, I mean,
they're harvesting by basically sort of self-driving combine harvester type things. They show my lack of knowledge about.
We're not farmers. But that, I mean, they have lights on them anyway, right? So
exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
It doesn't matter. So I think that this is a leftover from ancient times, and we need to get rid of it. I don't know who came up with it in the first place. Probably some fucking King Charles the I
can see it probably had a practical application at some point, but that application has become completely irrelevant now. Yeah. So why do we still do it?
Yes, I think we just need to take the step and say we're stopping it, and that's it. Stop it.
Because again, it is the actual time is thieving time because you've got to deal with it, haven't you? You've got to fuck around changing clocks.
You inevitably lose an hour of sleep. That's what it's coming up, isn't it? Next couple of weeks time.
I think it's next weekend. Clocks go forward, don't they? So we lose an hour.
Lose a fucking hour of sleep, basically. And in America changes at a different time.
Yeah, they've already gone forward. So that throws everything up in the air, doesn't it?
Now the difference between us is different and it's complicated. And the amount of software that's involved in making sure that your Outlook thing is updated. And there's a huge amount of work and processing time and human hours that have gone in just to calculate all this shit. Sounds easy, right? But as soon as you start talking about time travel, effectively, things get complicated. I was once flying back from America at the same time as a clock change, and of course there's a time zone difference as well. And honestly, I could not fucking figure out what time it was. Do you know? Like, it was before the days where my watch automatically and phone up.
Yeah.
So you're trying to figure out, I've gone back 4, but it was, what the, you just get lost in that. You just have to leave it and forget it. And somebody will tell you eventually, you're late.
When was the last time you asked someone the time? I was trying to think about. There must have been a time. I love these things, right? Where you say, "When was the last time you did something?" without realizing it was the last time. Yeah. I think famously there was a time where you last picked up your kid without realizing. But I don't remember the last time I asked someone the actual time.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it? I don't know either. Because we've got devices everywhere that tell the time, right?
In fact, I would rather now not know the fucking time more than not, because it is now just a constant reminder of something that has to be done.
Yes, bloody meetings I have.
Everything.
Yeah. There's a thing lately, right? I don't know if this is corporate, whatever, but people are now opening meetings like 3 minutes early. And, you can see this happen in Teams, right? It just pops up. Somebody has opened a call and I'm like, what are you doing? You're so desperate to have meetings that you want to join them early.
Yeah, stop that.
So I purposely join a minute late. That's my policy.
I don't know if you can hear any background noise, but it looked that a truck has just pulled up outside the house, and I can only assume that they're engaging in some sort of Civil War battle reenactment in the back of it.
Oh, no, I can't hear
based on the noise that they're making. If you haven't heard it, then I've just outed myself for absolutely no reason.
No, I don't hear it, but the mic might not be picking it up, but you never know. But okay, good to know.
All right, I might go and join in when I'm done.
Good stuff.
Can put on me.
Cannons.
What's that metal stuff they call? Mace, is it?
Armour.
Armour, yeah. Put my armour on.
Good stuff. Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Do you think we've talked about time enough?
Time.
We're literally talking about time to the point we're wasting time
there
now.
You go.
Talking about time.
Right. Enough of that then.
Should we call time?
Let's call time. Ding ding.
Last orders.
Okay. Last orders, please, folks. Get them in. Right. Enough of that. So, we're speaking of last orders, then let's have a bit of a happy ending.
Yay.
So, are you happy about anything?
Oh, it's been a week really. So, got to be honest. No.
Welcome all.
No, I kind of do. It's just, some weeks it feels like the fucking world is just got something against you.
Oh yeah.
It's been one of those weeks really. But I did have, and I'm scraping the barrel of happy endings here. I did have a bit of an epiphany for my 20th, which I'm considering a landmark book because it's my 20th
book, yes.
I'm due to start writing at some point in the next month or so.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I had an idea for that book, but something has occurred which has sort of just blown my mind a little bit.
Wow.
But that was about it, really. So apart from that, I've it's been a pretty
dull week.
Yeah, it has been. What about you? Tell me you've had some. No, your week's been pretty shit as well.
I've had a lot of shit lately. The shit truck has been emptying outside my house for a while now.
Well, a delivery for Eccles.
Yeah. Just pump it in, right? But I keep an eye on this every so often, and just coincidentally, I was like, oh, well, let's have a tally up, and I collate all the book sales and audiobooks and everything all into one bucket and add it all up. Which isn't as easy as you might think it is to do.
No, not with KU.
Yeah, it's a rough estimation at best because of the way that it's all calculated, right? But saying that, you've got to have some sort of method of figuring these things out. So I do. And so I'm going to say I just passed a lovely milestone of 40,000 books.
40,000.
Yeah.
That is a... Would you think about how many authors, right, over the history of novels specifically, how many actual authors have sold 40,000?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a lot less than people think, right? So
100%, yeah.
It's quite a lot. I mean, it's not life-changing yet. It's not that I can drop my day job yet. But I reckon that's a pretty nice number to have hit. And as I say, it was literally just ticked over as I added up the numbers.
You really are a data nerd, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Well, it's my job to sort of collate things. But yeah, so it's, it's numbers. Round number. I mean, maybe I should have celebrated 37,559 or something, right? Because
that would have been much better, yeah.
It's just a number.
Or waited until it hit 50,000.
Well, there's that too. I mean, I tell you what, if everyone wants to buy a fuck ton of books, get me to 50,000 in the next month, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. Between our modest gang of readers, if you could all buy 10,000 of Adam's books.
There'd have to be paper ones, right? Because I'm assuming that everyone who's listening has already bought the Kindle or the KU or whatever.
Okay.
So, so buy a shit ton of paperbacks. But you can donate them to charity if you want, right? If you've already read them.
Kill some trees, yeah.
Just get them out there, right? So, no, but seriously, I thought that was a nice milestone to hit, and it made me a bit chuffed for a minute, and so that's me.
And then you moved on?
I did, and now we're going to...
No, that's definitely a happy... I would say that's a distinct cause for happiness, because you do have this... I say you, I mean, we're just talking about us in general, the world, is we just continually march forward, but we never actually stop to reflect, do we? We're like this, you're constantly goal driven, this sort of got to go after this, I want to be at this place. And you never really stop to reflect on what you've actually done.
That's right. Yeah. And you know, it's I suppose the fact that there's that number of books sold or whatever, and that people continue to buy them and read them, and it's, you know, it's all it's very nice. It's it's crap that comes out of
validation.
My head. That's it. Yeah. Ego boost, I suppose, even, but but it's just nice to think that many people or whatever are enjoying it. I mean, maybe not all of them are enjoying it, right, if you read them, but at least a good chunk of them have, and, you know, fuck them if they didn't. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who's bought my books, and actually, you've got one coming out soon, haven't you?
I have, next week, all being well and good. And this one has been like, I don't know how else to describe it, but I suppose if anyone can imagine giving birth to a porcupine anally Christ. Over a period of 6 months, that would probably just about sum up how painful this book has been for me. I mean, the book itself has actually turned out pretty good. I've still got a few bits to tweak and stuff, but I'm quite happy with the way it's turned out. But it's just been one of those books that I just cannot wait to see the back of, so I can move on to my landmark 20th. Just with a blank canvas. We talked about this off air, didn't we? About writing books in series in a series is a painstaking challenge, because you have to remember all of the various elements from the first book, and you still have to drive the story forward whilst creating an individual book that, you know, people can enjoy on its own.
That's right.
You can't have a situation where someone reads a book and then they're not going to read the next one automatically, are they? Right. Sometimes it's months before they'll read it. Yeah. So you've got to bear that in mind, and it sucks the joy out of actual writing, I would say, because you can't you're focusing on detail rather than
that's it.
Writing what you want to write is painful.
I mean,
that's my happy ending. Fucking hell.
Fair enough. Well, let's have a quick poll while we're at it, right? Since we've got their ears. If people want to tell, do you prefer to read a standalone book or a book that's part of a series? I'd just like to know. Myself,
I would.
Personally, I actually prefer a standalone book, because I'm not sort of tied into anything and I can just, you know, pick it up whenever. But then there's also a sort of part of me that's like, I kind of like to know what happened and reference that, you know, it's fun to sort of think about, that happened in the other book and whatever. Or
I get bored.
Yeah.
I have found some series. There's one that you and I were reading about. I can't remember the guy's name. He's a Scottish.
J.D. Kirk.
J.D. Kirk.
Logan.
That's it. And I read the first 4, 5, and I really enjoyed them. But by the 6th book, I was just becoming bored. Right, and it has nothing to do with the writing, or the books, or the stories. I just got bored of reading the same characters, and it does become a bit.
And
that's why,
variety,
and I have the same problem with writing books in a series. I guess I just don't find it as fulfilling. So I think it's fair to say my 20th book will not be in a series.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on that, reach out to us on socials, or we have a feedback form on our website.
We've had some cracking emails come in over the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you've actually looked at them. We haven't checked. We haven't discussed this prior, so I don't know if Adam has actually looked at what those emails are.
I don't think I have actually. No.
Probably best not to do that while we're actually recording.
Oh dear. But they're all spam, right? They're not fucking...
Yeah, it's essentially, what best I can tell is Eastern European women asking if we'd like to look at pictures of them in various states of undress, I haven't clicked the links, but I'm just guessing. I would put that out there, that because, God knows what sort of sort of virus-ridden website they're going to take you to.
Never click those. I mean, that is the ultimate thing, isn't it? It's always women wanting to show you their naked bodies. For some reason.
Yeah, but in fairness, they get lots of unsolicited dick pics from men, so it's goes around, comes around.
Yes, that's that's going to be a children's book, isn't it? The pop-up story of the unsolicited dick pic. Maybe not a children's book.
Oh dear.
Moving swiftly on. So so look, let's wrap it up. We are happy we've ended. Say hello on socials. Talk about things that enrage you, or if you agree that people should stop stealing your time. And
or some of the most. Yeah, I think we'd like to hear some feedback on what people personally feel is the greatest theft of their time.
Yes, definitely.
Standing in a park watching children play. I mean, your children, not, If you're standing in a park watching other people's play, you probably need supervision order. But honestly, I could think about how many hours I lost just standing in a park or sitting in a park and just while the kids having a whale of a time, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, this is my life now.
It's not much fun for the adults because you can't really look away because somebody will steal them. So you need to pay attention. You can't look at your phone or read a book or something because you need to. All
the little shits will just fall off something because they've done, and they don't have the tolerance that we used to have as kids. We used to fall off great heights onto concrete. Yeah, just get up and get on with it.
I remember playing with mud.
What, the 70s glam rock band?
No. Just like getting a bag of mud, a little sweet bag, but it's empty, and you fill it with dust and throw it up into the air and watch the dust sort of fly around like an explosion. That was my fun. And then you remember those metal slides that were really high and it's baked in the sun, so it's like 4,000 degrees Celsius. And
I fell off one of them when I was 4.
Right.
And I have distinct memory. I've still got a scar to show for it. But that was about, 15 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And you fell onto actual concrete.
With probably some broken glass and
some dog shit,
and whatnot thrown in for good measure.
Old school.
Yeah, those are the
kids today, pampered little pricks.
Yeah, it's all rubber now, and
bark.
Insurance, lawyers, bastards. Yeah, so. Oh dear, where do we get onto that? I don't know.
Do we talk about wasting time? And if anyone does have their own personal peeve about time wasting, time thieves, please do let us know.
Do let us know, yeah. So that's find us on X or on Facebook at Middle Raged. Yes, if you would like to join the ranks of the donatees, double donatees,
we're going to go for that. Or even a single donatee. And what's the record? We've got a leaderboard. We've got 2 on 5 donations, haven't we?
Yes, 5 coffees. Can beat that. Like 300 coffees, go for it.
Or 10,000 of Adam's books.
Yeah, but either way.
Whichever is cheaper.
I don't mind.
Actually, I get no benefit from that, so fuck that. Go buy me a coffee.
You get the halo effect.
Great, yeah. I'm going to bring up the local council. So can I pay my bills with Adam's halo?
Love it.
No, bailiffs.
Fair enough. All right. Well, anyway, buymeacoffee.com/middleraged if you'd like to sponsor us and keep us ad-free. Or if you want to send us a box of Andrex or Stella or dog shit bags or, I don't know.
Bran flakes,
yeah. Something like that. Then rock and roll. All right.
Yeah, please do.
I think that's enough of that. So until next time, which will hopefully be in about 2 weeks, it's a goodbye from me.
And from me, goodbye.